What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Thank you guys for tuning in again this Tuesday afternoon. I got a special guest here. We're going to let him introduce himself here shortly. I just want to tell everybody I really appreciate you guys rocking with me the past couple of weeks. I know last week I don't think I did an interview because I had so much personal stuff going on. But I just want to give a shout out to the past guests that I've had, celebrity stylist and spiritual life coach, Kiki with Our Boss Makeup. I want to give a shout out to Moon Rock Mafia out in California for rocking with me. You guys are so faithful. You always support me. So I just want to tell you guys thank you. Thank you to Hendrix. Thank you to Jeremy Weaver. Just thanks to everybody who's been supporting me, checking on me. Thanks to my little niece, Kim Possible. Thanks for all the people who've sent me some new speaking engagements also. You guys know that this platform is always geared for the empowerment of our people. For some reason, we get a lot of backlash for being vocal about saying that we want to help our population of people. I'm not going to navigate. I'm not going to stray from what my passion is. So I'm going to just encourage you guys to continue to do the work, continue to rock with us, and give me half a second here while I get everything set up. You guys probably can see on the screen the guests here, but I'm getting everything set up to make sure everything is showing properly. I'm glad I did check this right here because for some reason my stuff always shows up private. And I'm gonna get ready to tag my guest in here. You guys already know how it is. Thanks again for being so patient. Let me tag my guests. And then we on our way. All righty then. So let me play this first. This is from my son. I got to get my son out the way. And I don't want to keep this brother waiting, but I do want to play this right here because every time I come on here, I get booted off because they say I don't have no music. So all praises to the Most High, to my son. If I can get it to play. Watch, it won't play now because I wanted to play. Of course, it's not going to play now because I wanted to play. So without further ado, I guess we'll just get right on into it. This is Brother Bomani. Let me just say this, and I would like to say that social media, if we use it the right way, it offers us a lot of connections. It offers us an ability to be able to learn and to be able to, self-educate. And it's brothers like this brother here that have so much knowledge. I mean, he has a radio show and he's just so in tune with African culture and African spirituality and African education. So without further ado, I'm going to let him introduce himself. Let him tell a little bit about you because his bio was so long. I do have it, but I'd like for him to tell you in his own words. Go ahead, Brother Bomani.
Okay. Read the language, everybody. Revolutionary greetings. Yeah. Okay. You can hear me real good?
Yep.
Okay. Hold on. Let me get my. Okay. Free the line. Revolutionary greetings. I'm trying to get in the screen real good. Okay. Okay. Revolutionary greetings. Free the line. My name is Brother Bomani Shakur. I'm a host of Georgia University Radio. I'm a member of Georgia University. Georgia University is a platform that was created in the prison system in California in 2002, 2003, with the end goal of transferring the criminal mentality, which is the slave mentality. It was the gangster mentality to a revolutionary, progressive, new African mentality. So you be productive while in the prison system, productive while in the street. I'm also a country Republic of Africa, which is a movement that started in 1968. And our whole thing is free land, which is the land being the base of independence. I'm also involved in IJANK, Email Jamil X Network, Email Jamil, former known as H. Brown, the former Black Panther. And we basically celebrate 75 years of life and 6 years of constant struggle. He been involved in the struggle since he was 15. I'm also a member of Black August Memorial Commemoration Committee, and Black August was a national month established in 1979 in the California prison system in regard to commemorate all the fallen comrades who fell during the month of August. And it also highlights a lot of things that took place in August that people don't know about and it concern our struggle and liberation, right? That's just a little brief about me. Um, eh, I'm most appreciated to be on their platform, and I'm ready to know to start the interview. And just share my knowledge with understanding. And I applaud everybody who constantly educating themselves and constantly doing things to better themselves on all levels and platforms.
I just want to kind of, because for people who just come in and who didn't hear, this brother brings an Afrocentric perspective. And that is something that is to the core of who I am. I'm a mental health advocate. I'm going to die a mental health advocate. But I love the fact that he's so transparent and loves to just say it bluntly and so eloquently that he's all for Afrocentric education. Now, I want you to kind of go into what's the difference, if you don't mind explaining, when we talk about African psychology, because everything he mentioned, guys, whether it's incarceration, education, liberation, all of that is still going to entail under the umbrella of psychology, understanding yourself, understanding the world around you. So if you don't mind, would you elaborate a little bit further on the African psychology?
Well, no, the first thing, when we actually look at the school of psychology, look at the school of psychology, it geared toward the aspect of the European, right? And by being given for the aspect of European, it doesn't relate to our African spirituality. So the main difference is that African psychology deals with the African spirituality. It deals with our origin when it comes to the universe, our origin when it comes to our conscience, our high state of mind, and basically our spirituality and our culture, which is not apparent, which is not present in European psychology. In European psychology, they tend to speak about they tend to speak about they tend to speak about the various aspects of they tend to speak about various aspects of intelligence, but they don't speak about where the intelligence comes from. And intelligence is a spiritual platform. And they actually had they actually was a school of after psychotherapy created called into psychotherapy. Into is a Bantu word that relates
Slow
to the
down,
spirit
slow
and
down,
soul. Right?
slow down, because I want you to repeat that and I want you to articulate that so people can hear it. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I need for you to articulate that so people can hear what you just said.
Oh, okay. Uh, I actually was saying that it actually a school of thought called into psychotherapy. Into psychotherapy is the African psychotherapy school of thought created by Brother Frederick. And the into is a Bantu word that relates to the spirit, the mind, and the consciousness, right? Into
Yeah.
psychotherapy were based it founded upon the principles of our African cosmology, African spirituality, in relation to our soul and intelligence. And they also deal with the seven principles of Nagusa Saba, with the seven principles that is associated with Kwanzaa at a particular time, right? Which is self-determination, unity, and other things of that nature, right? So when we look at history, we realize that the first black psychologist, African psychologist, was in 1920, right? In 1920 is a very important year due to the fact that the red, black, and green flag that's behind the wall was created in 1920 Mark Garvey. It's also the year that the first African psychologist got a degree as a doctor. And then in 1968, they created the Black Psychological Association. With 1968, about 33 brothers, 33 different individuals that were created in San Francisco. And during 1968, during that time, there was a lot of struggle going on with the Black Panther Party, the Republic of Africa, various other political movements that are geared toward our African liberation, right? And also at that time, a lot of people in the movement had a lot of background with the Pan-African movement. And
Right.
Pan-African nationalism is the standpoint that we are all African people. We're all descendant African people, so it doesn't matter if we're in America, if we're in the motherland, if we're in Europe or Asia, we're the African motherland. The whole thing to build an African nation, which were taught about people like Kwame Nkrumah, Malcolm X, Stokely Carmichael, and it even was pushed by people like Muammar Gaddafi. They
Now
even
let me
pushing those ideas as well, right?
now let me ask you this, because I kind of want them to understand when you're saying the African psychology and the African psychotherapy. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because I actually work in the field. And I've had brothers you know, to tell me, well, that's just a piece of paper. It ain't about nothing. But for me, I lived it. And then I went and got the paper. And so there is a conflict, just like what you said. There is a conflict because I was taught Eurocentric standards to go out in the community to be able to help my African brothers and sisters. And what I found, I'm going to say a lot of I statements. What I found is that when I go out into the community to help people that identify, that look like myself, the Eurocentric education that was taught to me is not impactful to help me reach my brothers and my sisters. So is that one of the barriers as it relates to us being able to actually connect in our community, actually get the resources that we need to even think, you know, have a cognitive mindset when we're thinking?
True indeed. That's our relation, because if mentally you relate to a system that doesn't relate to you geographically, doesn't relate to you spiritually, but nor is identified with the struggle that you've been through, because by being people of African descent, by being Africans, we've been exposed to slavery, we've been exposed to oppression, we've been exposed to poverty, miseducation, all other aspects. So that school of psychology doesn't touch on those things. It doesn't resonate with us, right? So
Absolutely.
we need a school that actually associate with our own mentality, that associate with our origin, which is our being, which is our DNA, right? And there been many people that been pushing that. So, like I said, in 1920, you know what I'm saying, in 1968, you know, people like Dr. Francois Wilson, people like Dr. Amy Wilson, you know, if you've been pushing it, Dr. Bobby Wright, who introduced us to the aspect of mental side, when he was saying that the system is destroying our mind, therefore destroying us, right? Because realistically, you grab somebody by their head, you can pull the whole body, right? Even with the 13th
Right.
Amendment, even the 13th
Right.
Amendment being established as a modern day form of prison, as a modern day form of slavery. You know, they so-called abolished slavery, 13th Amendment, the so-called abolished slavery for the African people, right? But then they put a ratified, and they put a part on there saying that you should have been a slave, you go to prison, right?
Right.
And they know the majority of people that are in the state of poverty are African people. So
Right.
if we're in the state of poverty and we ain't got no education, right, we're gonna do what naturally comes to us, which is survival. And a
Right.
lot of times when we start surviving, it results in what they term criminal activity. And by the criminal activity being a great thing to incarcerate you, you become a commodity within the pre-industrial slave complex, which is a system that's based that are actually the pre-industrial slave complex is actually an extension of the education system. The
And
education system.
I was just gonna say that. I didn't mean to interject, but I was just gonna say that. I go and do a lot of speaking. I was just gonna say that. It's what I term it as is they call it the school to prison pipeline, but I like to say the school to society pipeline, because in essence, just what you said, these public school systems are not, they're not built, or they're not structured so that they can identify with a lot of the needs from an Afrocentric perspective for our children. 1 out of 4 Black males are more than likely than their white counterparts to be expelled or, you know, get suspended. 1 in 10 Black girls are more than likely than their white counterparts to be expelled or to be, you know, suspended from school. So when you look at the numbers, or even when you look around in our community, absolutely what you're saying, the school system is an extension. I wouldn't even say an extension. It's a gateway to the prison system. I truly feel that way. What do you think about that, brother?
Well, no, I think about it, you know, they're actually the same system. You know, like I see a lot of people saying it's Veteran Day. Now, also the military system, the prison system, and the school system, they're all the same exact thing. They have different names because they teach the same exact thing. They all teach control, manipulation. They all teach, you know what I'm saying? You can have a certain form of
But
ID.
look,
They teach your personality.
I am a veteran, and I'm going to say this: I am a veteran. I ain't holler Veterans Day. I had some people tell me that. I am a veteran. I don't mean to interject, but I will say this right here. What I have found, because I've been in the military and I've also been in the prison system, so I can speak from a well-rounded perspective. What I will say, a lot of the people who have been in the military have the mindset that I have now. When they get out of the military, they see all the inconsistencies in the system. So although they served on that side at one point, It's kind of like you really don't know how something is until you've experienced it on every level. And a lot of the people who are in the military now have this same outlook as far as the discussion that we're having. They saw how flawed the system is. They saw how prison, the military, and schools all have three common denominators. So I totally agree. Totally agree.
Yeah, the reason I'm gonna give you an example, right? Okay, but when you go into prison, they cut all your hair off your body, right? Okay, that's the same thing in the military. Okay, when you go into prison, you have different people like CO1, sergeant, lieutenant that actually telling you what to do. The same thing in the military. Okay, you take a test when you come in the assessment test to see with classification in prison. You do the same thing in the military. You know, you go to the prison, you consider a certain part of a prison. You consider a certain inmate, a certain number in a particular prison. You go to the military, the same thing. You're in a certain company, you have a certain number. It's the same exact thing in those particular aspect, right? Which one time the military industrial complex and the prison industrial slave complex. And then when you come to school, especially right now, a lot of the school they paying police in the school, right? Now, if you paying police in the school, and the children seeing that the police are killing all our youth and the people that are armed and everything, their brain fear, right? That they're militarizing the school. So it's the same thing they're doing with the military police. They bring into the school system, right? And that in turn, like Ralph Ellison said, we the invisible man. So in school, in American academic school, they're not teaching anything about African history. They're not teaching no identity. They're not giving them any kind of insight. They have any kind of business or they own any kind of land. They basically just teaching them to be a commodity. You know what I'm saying? Because it's even interesting, like the scenario, like it can be a young black boy be friends with a young white boy, right? They friends all through school, right? And then when both of them graduate, they basically fighting to get a job. And by the white boy being white, he gonna go to white privilege, he gonna get a job, and then friend gonna be left without a job because he's not white. So that showed institutionalized racism, right? And it also showed the psychological aspects of it.
Okay, now this is what I like to do. Anybody who knows me, I'm all for my people, but I do like to play devil's advocate because I like to give a different perspective. I like for people who, even if they don't agree with me, to be able to say, or either to be able to, have a healthy debate. So that way, maybe it'll give me a greater insight. What you just said when you said, well, two boys might be a white boy and a black boy, and when they get ready to graduate, the white boy is going to use his privilege and the black boy won't have that. So I'm going to play devil's advocate. I wasn't raised rich, and I definitely wasn't poor. I ended up going into the military, but I ended up, having some issues. But I can't blame that on society. Guess what? I pulled my own self out. Was there adversity? Absolutely. Did I know that my color had some barriers and there were some doors closed because of the color of my skin? Absolutely. I cannot come home and wash this melon out my skin. Absolutely. But at the end of the day, what I won't do is I won't put the keys to my success in a Eurocentric person's pocket or Eurocentric type mindset and say, well, woe is me. I didn't make it because X, Y, and Z. What do you say to that mindset of people?
Well,
hey, Nicole. Hey, Jonathan. I'm just reading the comments. Go ahead, brother.
Okay.
What I was saying is, what about playing devil's advocate? You were saying if a black boy and a white boy graduated, the white boy is going to go ahead when he graduates school and use his white privilege. What do you say to the black people? Because everything isn't always, and this is me playing devil's advocate now. This is not Tawana saying that, this is hypothetically. Everything ain't the white man's fault. What do you say to those people? What do you say to those people that, they were able to pull themselves up by the bootstrap, and even though they had some issues, they still were able to maneuver through the system and pull themselves back up and put themselves in the game? What do you say to them people that say that everything ain't a black or white man problem? You just got to be able to do the work.
Well, it's realistic because we all have intelligence, and we are intelligent to make our own conscious decision, right? And by origin of African people, we're natural survivors. We're natural people that can conquer things and dominate because we have the spirit. We have a very intelligent mind state. You look at everything in creation, Everything created from the arts and the science to the philosophies to poetry to the politics. We all the engineers and architects of all them things, right? So, you look at our, even looking at our history. Some people say 1619, also it be 1526. You know what I'm saying? Other different times in regards to us coming to these shores of America, being enslaved and shackled and slain, right? We always resisted. We always fought. We always had a period of resistance, right? So, and then to be realistic, it actually us that actually continuing the system of white supremacy, continuing the system of mental slavery, due to the fact that we haven't unified. We haven't
Yep.
unified on a great level to be recognized as a particular nation and establish our independence. That's what we're lacking. We're lacking that unity to get our independence. And once we become independent, we build our own thing. But that doesn't mean that we won't have to protect ourselves. You first
Right.
got to protect your mind. We got to protect
Right.
ourselves when that day comes. But you know what I'm saying? Because then also another thing is that it always been the crab and the barrel mentality that been keeping it down. Y'all be individual that they infiltrate, they work for their oppressor, they keep it under condition that they don't want us to elevate or rise up. Like how you look at historic, a lot of things like different things we had like in regards to Black Wall Street, our black civilizations, our black towns, and the Move family bombing, you know what I'm saying, Republic of African, already 1978, and you know what I'm saying, different things that free Africa town in Alabama, different place civilization we had, right? It all been at this point that it all been the individual that were actually in within were actually in the community or actually in the organization or part of the collective that turned coat due to the fact that it was an economic thing or it was just something of hatred, envy they had with another individual. There's a mentality that was taught to them. So
I totally
it's
agree.
a lot of different factors in that.
I totally agree with that. I'm going to read some of these messages real quick. It's someone says, Jeremy says, this day and age, race isn't the issue. I'm going to say this because I like to play devil's advocate on both sides. I really think that's a very good comment that he gave because you have some people on one side that's going to, I have people tell me all the time to want to use race for everything, which I don't. I don't go to the white man as master, please, I'm black. I don't have that mentality. Now, what I will do is call out when I see something that's ineffective. So I really think that's a good comment, Jeremy. Another comment says we have to educate our youth and not be the gatekeepers. That is so very true. We've got to stop being the gatekeepers. Another comment says, I think it's all about our own career path and how you gather the information to maintain a direction that you want in your career. Someone says, try hard as you can as a black person to not work for anyone. Someone says, start your own businesses. Someone says, schools don't teach kids about bank accounts, mortgages, leases, car notes, phone bills, balances of checkbook, how to maintain a life. That is so true. I can say this from personal experience. My daughter went to HBCU, an all-black college, and I'm from right down there in Columbus. And when we were down there, my daughter was going to school at Smith Station, which had really better schools. What I thought at the time, it had great Eurocentric type education standards. I will say that. And so I was, I had that mindset. Oh, my kids getting some better education. But it was not until my daughter went to an all-black school. Shout out to Albany State Rams that beat Fort Valley the other day. Yes. It was not till my daughter went to that school that she was even able to understand the dynamics that she and the responsibility that was on her as a young black woman. She did not understand that. She didn't know black history. She was oblivious to the fact that we in our culture we're so creative, we're so innovative, we're so entrepreneurial, but she didn't realize that until she got into an institution that that congratulated us on our strengths versus always talking about our weaknesses. And I really think that if we as a community of people start to look at people's strengths versus the things where they went wrong, we can build off those strengths and really stop looking towards. We want too many handouts. We want handouts from the oppressor. And I don't know for what reason we think that when we get a handout from the oppressor, that's going to in any way level us up where we can be in a position to actually globally compete with them. So what do you think about that?
Well, from my education, things I'm involved with, The things I deal with self-determination, right? Self-determination. What I mean by self-determination that you gotta do for yourself, right? Doing for yourself, doing for your people, your culture, your nation. Like say for instance, right? Um, we got to police our own communities, right? Keep the police out. We got to do things like create cooperative economics. Do things such as community gardens. Do things such as invest in each other and start your own business. You know what I'm saying? Buy land, obtain land. The things like that, self-sufficient. You know what I'm saying? Create your own solar energy. Create your own solar panel, solar energy, so you won't have to pay Georgia Power and all the other individuals that have control our power system. The thing, just being self-sufficient, right? To be self-sufficient, like making your own deodorant, making your own soap, things like that is not only teach you skills and teach you survival skills, and it also brings finance. It also brings aspects of unity and other collective things that can be beneficial in regards to building a nation state, in order to building a community, or to building an environment that geared toward all our aspects, especially in regards to like keeping the money in our community so it can circulate at least 10 times before you even leave our community. Things like that, because they're actual things that other cultures like the Asians and the Hispanics, the European, they'll do those particular things to keep their system going. They create generation wealth. You know what I'm saying? And I was saying that we want to be flashy, want to have cars and different houses and be flashy, but we don't have any wealth. You know what I'm saying? We just have a material thing, but not having any wealth. We need to create wealth in order to prosper in this world, because we actually victims of economic slavery. We have economic slavery going on because we don't have a particular economic to do certain things, right? But we can change those dynamics by using the skills that we have. So like you said, the talent, using the talents that we have to do other things, right? Like your psychology, so to speak. You using that as a way to generate income. The way to bring the understanding to people, right?
Right.
And even by having their broadcast, it actually highlighting some of your talents in regard to the psychological aspect coming from, because what we gauge the psychobabble right now. We talking on the psychological level, and we understand that the psychotherapy, the foundation of psychotherapy is talking, communication. And once you get an individual to open up to communicate, the individual, he or she, can actually derive a solution in their own mind in regards to being a solution to their own problem, being a solution.
I'm going to pause you right there. I want to pause you right there. For anybody who's looking at this, who will see this, this is what this brother just said, because I have a lot of people that always ask me why I fly off social media and why I deactivate my account or blah, blah, blah. Just what this brother said right there. You got to be self-sufficient. Everything that you have is within. And for me, where I hit a brick wall is I see so many people who talk the talk. Because this social media is easy to get on here and act like you helping the people and you for the people and you about the cause and you doing this. But how many people are out here doing the footwork? Do you understand what I'm saying? And for me, I'm solution driven. I don't care about how many followers or how many likes. I don't care about any of that. I'm one of those ones that when it's cold like how it's been today, guess where I was this morning? I was out working with the people, hands on. So I'm one of those people that really, I see a lot of people talk the talk, but how many people are willing to get out their comfort zone? It's kind of like when you were saying, well, we got to unify, we got to do this. Well, where do we start? I don't know. For me, I got tired of saying, well, we got to unify, we got to do this. So what I did is step back from everybody, started doing the small stuff I could in my community so I could see a direct impact. See, when I was trying to help everybody and be at this sister event and be at that brother, not that I don't want to help, but when I was spreading myself thin, I didn't see a change in the community. But when I stepped back and stayed focused to what my Most High told me to do and do the work where I saw fit, then you can see a direct impact in your community. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's kind of like so many people want this big fame versus taking the small steps to do the individual work, and that way you can see manifestation in whatever your passion is.
True indeed. The whole foundation of it is unifying with yourself first. We had this internal war going on within ourselves, right? You have the mind, where primary function is to think and turn around and doubt something. Then you
Yeah.
have the conscious mind, the primary function is intelligence. So they basically going against each other because the mind had created an aspect called the ego. And the ego is actually a role in which the mind wants itself to be and not be the conscious mind. Because the conscious mind had a relation to our spiritual aspect, our soul or spirit, which is our intelligence, the seed of our intelligence, and it manifests in our mind as the conscious mind. The only people saying you conscious of certain things or we got the conscious movement, the conscious community or whatever, which really I feel like, you know what I'm saying, that a lot of that stuff, you know what I'm saying, it's catchy and it's trendy, but in order to go to the consciousness, your conscious mind is a form of awareness. You're aware of all things, right? So you move in a particular manner. You actually being aware of yourself more than anything because the self is your foundation. You got to be aware of
That's right.
yourself first, and you got to defeat your true self. Got to defeat your false self so they can be
Yep.
balanced and then you can move in a particular manner, right? So that actually when unification starts. You got to be because many times we talk about we love people, we care about them,
Yep.
whatever, right?
Yep.
You understand people. But if you don't love yourself, you can't love nobody else. You don't
That's
understand
it.
yourself, you don't understand nobody else. Everything
That's it.
starts with yourself first. You got to get yourself in order before you can do it. You get yourself in order, then your life will fall in order because we the master control our own destiny. We create our own universe. Our own thoughts and habits shape and mold our own destiny, right? So whatever happened to it doesn't happen by chance. It happen by ways of action, happen by mentality, right? We create certain things. We have the power to manifest things. We have the power to create our own reality, right? If you believe it or not, you know what I'm saying? It's always a cause every effect. It's
Right.
always a foundation. The area building. It's a foundation of every complex, right? So it's all an individual and how he or she operates mentally in regards to how they gonna deal with the world, you know what I'm saying, materialistic, you know what I'm saying, and visualize things in the world, how they operate mentally. Because just like you said in social media. Social media has actually to me it seemed to be the biggest asylum in the world, right? The reason I say that because you had everybody on there from different places of the world. People coming on, people might come on there, they might be unhappy. So what they'll do, they'll come on a troll or whatever you want to call it, come on and just agitate other people and disrupt their happiness because they're not happy. People might come on and say certain things because they actually want to be seen and
Right.
heard, want to be notable. They want to be like Facebook celebrities, social media
Yep.
celebrities.
Yep.
Uh, they want to pretend they're doing certain things, which they
Yep.
not. They're
They
not
not.
active in the community. They're not out in the street. They're not active involvement in what they say they're involved with. You know, um, it really crazy. It really crazy on a whole bunch of levels, right? It crazy on a whole bunch of levels. It just something we got to deal with, right? In regards
I
to our
totally
mental health,
agree.
and also in order to have a strong mental health foundation, you got to have a strong mental community. If your community first your physical community start, you know what I'm saying? What's going on in your physical community? If you're in a physical community where you got a lot of privacy, you haven't get enough food and nutrients, things like that, they're gonna affect your mental community. So your mind can be actually, nah, I gotta do something to get some more food. I'm not happy because I don't have a full belly. I
And
can't do
see,
this.
and see what we call that in the professional realm, it's like meeting a person where they are, to be able to provide their basic needs. You understand what I'm saying? And that's so true. You have to build, it's kind of like nature versus nurture. Your environment is going to impact every aspect of who you are, your spiritual beliefs, your moral beliefs, every fiber of you that encompasses you. All of that is going to be defined by nature versus your environment, nature versus nurture. That's what it's called. It's kind of like that flight or fight response. We're either gonna stand up and do what we got to do to survive, or either we're gonna cave in and we're gonna be the prey. So I really like how you said that, because that is a very valid point. Everything is within. Anything that we need is within us. And I always encourage people to not put the keys to your success in somebody else's pocket. Why are you gonna give somebody else the key to your car to drive when you're the star of your own video? I'm the star of this video in my life. I'm the superstar. So why would I hand over my leading roles to somebody else to star in a rendition of Tawana's life when I'm the one who lived this life? So it's really important that we get the support systems. We build up. I got one on here. I got to call him out. This brother, I love when a brother can really connect with a sister and really check on a sister. Jeremy, I got to give you a shout out again. This brother is a true true brother. You know, he's one of those brothers that really checks on a sister when she's going through some things. And for that, I really appreciate it, because we all need somebody who's going to build us up from a mental standpoint. I want to ask you a quick question so we can transition. I said something the other day when we were on the line, and then you wanted to correct me, and I said, don't correct me. Wait till we get on live and correct me then. Remember when I was saying about prison reform, and you said what? So now is the time. I want you guys to catch these nuggets right here. This brother's going to give you some information, because I had said the term prison reform when I was going to say his bio, and he corrected me. And I didn't want him to tell me right then, because I wanted him to correct me on live and educate all of us simultaneously. Go ahead, Brother Bomani.
Well, you know, first off, you actually can't reform a system that's bent on keeping oppressed, right? So there is no prison reform. And also, if you reforming somebody doing prison, you ain't doing it. You're not completely. You're not eradicating the system. You know what I'm saying? The thing I'm looking at, that what we do at Georgia University, we actually send books to the prison system, or to educate the mind and master the people upon the Markup study group. And these things, this group study group is geared toward decreasing the rate of recidivism, which is decreasing the aspect of people going back into prison. And as long as you're not going into prison, you're not feeding the prison Dutch slave complex. So I was thinking transferring the mind state. Once you transfer that mind state, there will be no particular prison to worry about. You know what I'm saying? Prison of mind, or prison of body, right? So I was thinking, you know what I'm saying, to basically abolish the whole aspect of prison in your whole mind through a mental transformation, through an educational transformation. Because we educate ourselves in order to liberate ourselves. And liberation, like Baba Jalil Luther King said, we're our own liberators. We're our own liberators through our own mind and ways of action, right? And then what I was talking about earlier about being a solution to our own problems, right? Being a solutionary. You know, so no, there's not nothing that going on, you know what I'm saying? But like anything, we got to take the prison away from us, take the prison away, and create institutions that they're gonna teach about the pre-industrial slave. They're gonna teach about prison. Gonna teach you different trades and skills to avoid going to prison and avoid being a victim. That's my thoughts in regards to that. No, there is no prison reform. You know, because how you gonna make something better? How you gonna make something better but still keep the system at the same time? That's what reform about. You know what I'm saying? You keep the good part to make it. What good part is it? You know what I'm saying? If you're in prison, you in slavery. So what's good about that? There ain't no good part of it. So why you want to reform that? You know, that's not gonna work.
You're absolutely right. And I like what you said, because, you know, the reason why I wanted you on here, because even though everybody's advocacy efforts may, you know, not be the exact same path, but I think that both of you and I want the same thing ultimately for our people. He sends books. He's makes sure that the prisoners are educated while they're incarcerated. My end, where I come in at on helping prisoners, I don't want to reveal too much because I'm going to be on tomorrow. But I kind of help with prisoners once they're on the outside. Do you understand what I'm saying? To be able to kind of take their life back, and to be able to not let their incarceration or their record follow them throughout their life.
They call it the re-entry programs. The re-entry programs we're talking about.
Well, I don't know what I call mine. I just write in to help people get their pardons. I help people get their pardons for the free. So I mean, I really don't. That is what it is, reentry. I don't really like to put a title on it. I just like for people to know that, you know, you might have these felonies, you might have had this happen to your, you know, back in earlier in your life, but you can take your life back. I'm proof. I always tell people, do not listen to what these street jail lawyers and hood people, and I'm not saying that we don't have the knowledge, but if you don't research and you don't do the work, I'm not going to believe what Junebug said. I'm sorry. Junebug have been in jail for 20 years, but guess what? Tawana is not going to believe Junebug. You know what? Because Junebug will tell you that you got 8 felonies, you can't get no job work for the state, or you can't get no job working here or there. When I'm a living witness that Junebug is a lie. You can have 8 felonies, you can work for the state, you can be a teacher, you can do all of that. And the reason why I'm knowing that, because I am that person. So people can't tell me, you know, I just want you can't piss on me and tell me it's raining. Let me just say it like that. And I think in our community, a lot of times we just go with the narrative of what's ever told to us, and we're not willing to do the due diligence to see, hey, this doesn't apply to me, or hey, there are resources out here for me. So what would you tell our people when they're stuck and they're not willing to go forward and seek out the resources that are here for us, or to create a way for us?
You know, the whole thing about that is that the greater aspect that we live in a world that they're being controlled by sophistication and technology, right? So a lot of people are able to get on Google, able to go on the internet through their phones and everything. But on the same token, a lot of information that's on the platform has been tainted and controlled by the oppressor, right? So they give me a lot of false information to discourage you. It's not a lot of false news. You want to say the image propaganda, a lot of false information, false knowledge, right? But when it comes to the reality of certain things, a lot of times we had to go to certain places and ask questions to get better answers, because there's a lot of stuff, there's a lot of opportunities that we don't see or understand, because we don't see it being publicized or see it being put out there. Like you can be in the community and go talk to certain people. They might turn you on to a job. They might turn you on to a job. They might turn you on to a different type of hustle. That might be engaged on selling different items or selling different soaps and different things. It's all depends where you at. You always gotta be willing to venture out into the world to find a better understanding for yourself.
And I totally agree with that. Some of the barriers that I've seen, though, when it comes to that right there, I truly feel like for some reason we have this jaded mentality to where I ain't gonna trust what Bomani's selling, but I'm gonna. Perfect example, what you just said. Why don't we know that this person is doing this in the community? I'm up here in Atlanta. I've been up here for almost 8 years now. I come to Columbus 2 or 3 times out of the year and do free events to help people get pardons. I've been on the news, so they know it's available. People know it's available, but guess what? They ain't gonna share it for me. But let it would have been a Eurocentric brother, white man in a suit, giving away pardons down there at the government center. Everybody in Columbus would have been sharing that and circulate. Oh, that white man down there giving out pardons for the free. So for me, you're right, but I have to blame some of it that's on us. We have to call a spade a spade. I ain't gonna say everything on them. And again, it might be some of the mentality that's been embedded in us. But Ray Charles can see some of this stuff, man. Come on now. We're not that dumb.
Just like I said earlier, you got to be an education process. Because our people, we just understand that our people just don't know. Our people just don't know a lot of things. We think we get the benefit of doubt that people know a lot of things, but they don't. That's why a lot of things need to be expressed and taught and educated, informed on various levels, so people can know exactly what's going on. So then they can make the conscious decision if they want to get involved in what we're talking about, or they want to go the different route. It's always good to inform. So that's basically what we do on our Georgia University radio show. We go on the radio show. We had different people on, different guests. Just like you, like tomorrow, you're gonna be the guest tomorrow. You the guest tomorrow. We have different people talking about different things in regards to their particular plight, their particular struggle, their particular involvement. If it's politics, if it's economic, if it's education, if it's community-based organization, if it's grassroots organized, if it's a prison-based movement. It's not going to scholar, philosopher, doctor, educator, therefore political prisoner, whatever they may be, right? To share the story, to put the story out to the people. So because we understand that we don't really own anything, control anything in regards to the media, right? So what we're doing right now, we're doing the same that we controlling a particular narrative right now. But people see things from our particular perspective. To share thoughts, to get people to think, to get people to think on their own, right? That's all we're doing. We just ignite thoughts. People think on their own. And develop different solutions and programs and ideas for themselves, as well as for their people in the community, so we can be a better self-sufficient people. That's what we're doing right now.
Absolutely, and I really feel like dialogues like this are necessary. I'm one of these people. I always say that I might not always agree with every person that I come in contact with. Every specific situation. But what I will say, for the greater cause and for the benefit of our people, and it's not settling and it's not compromising. It's being able to see the authenticity in another person and to see that we're able to work towards this common goal. Because I truly do believe that we have to fix us first. And for some reason, I, I get upset about it. I'm at the point to now I'm almost over it, where I get so frustrated with our people. You said it a moment ago. We've got to be understanding when they don't know something. Well, I'm going to say this because I love to play devil's advocate now, because I like to give everybody a perspective. If they can look up how many Grammys Beyonce got and what Cardi B won to the Grammys, then you can't tell me they can't find out something that's going to benefit them for their education or for their finances or for the betterment of them as an individual to elevate. I find that almost like insanity. You can't tell me that the same Google that lets me look up what did Beyonce wear to the Grammys or what Cardi B #1 song is the same Google that will tell you some information about how to better yourself. But for some reason, in our black heads and our black phones, the Google don't work for what we need. I'm just asking, does Google not work for black people for what we need? Because
Yeah, it does, but like you said, it's a particular mentality. If your mentality is not there, you tend to respond and act the way your mentality. If you into all this Cardi B and all the tight pants and skinny jeans, all these rap videos and all that's the things you gonna those are the things that you're gonna look up and investigate. But that's
right,
what you into.
right,
But if you've been exposed to like the African centered point of view, a pan African centered view, a new African centered view, a black national point of view, you've been exposed to different things like that, then you tend to to move on that particular. You tend to look at investigate. I'm gonna investigate what the Black Panther were doing. I'm gonna investigate what Garvey were doing. I'm gonna
right,
investigate what Africa doing. You tend to move in that way. So it's all depending on the individual mentality. And then a lot of times that, like I was saying earlier, you got to be mindful that the majority of our children and youth go to the American academic system. So by
yeah,
they going to the American academic system, they're not learning things that pertain to us anyway. So if they seeing that these rappers got all this fame and this notoriety and they notable and people not looking at them, no, they just it's like we ask people that all want to identify with certain things. We all want to identify
right,
with certain. That's why we have so many different culture,
yeah,
spirituality, and different faiths, because we all want to identify with something, right? A person can come along like and tell a person like that uh, I'm from another planet or something, and by people being open minded, they gonna start following that same. I'm from their planet.
right,
I'm from their planet too, or whatever. That base how things go because you want to identify with certain things, right? And also we live in a world that it's all two type of people in the world. You got the people who make decisions, and you got the people who decide it. And the majority of the people are decided. That means other people make decisions for them, so therefore they don't have their own mind. And and now we live in a world now that so many people want to belong to certain things, right? They just belong just because they don't want to be left out.
right,
Or they want to belong. They want to be belong to be popular, or they want to belong to say they're actually involved with something, they're actually making a change, but they're not making a change within themselves, or they're not really, or they may not be even putting in the work in the institution or the structure or the collective that they're part. They ain't doing the work in that either. So it's just really interesting in regards to the mind state. The mind is a powerful tool, right? It's a powerful tool. It's also a weapon too. It ought to be a weapon because it be used a weapon against us to keep us oppressed. You know what I'm saying? Because if you miseducating people, okay, you put it into the mind, telling people like Charles Darwin, you know what I'm saying, that we came from AIDS and you know what I'm saying, Christopher Columbus discovered America and the father of medicine, you know what I'm saying, the father of medicine Hippocrates and you know what I'm saying,
mm-hmm,
telling all the Greek mythology, classical mythology, and all this stuff like that, right? You dissociate yourself with your origin,
right,
your greatness, and therefore you belittling yourself and take yourself a lot of great notches, and you make yourself inferior. You know, those are mindset aspects, right? And the greatest thing that, well, you look at our history, right? You look at our history. All our great leaders, from the male to the female, they had to educate themselves. And
Yeah.
by them educating themselves, they had to go into their own mind and feel like, okay, I got to find something better than what I got going on. For instance, Malcolm X. Okay, Malcolm X one of the greatest, you know what I'm saying, thinkers that hit the planet Earth. You know, this brother, he was grown at an early age as a garbage. But by difference of you, he experienced crime and poverty, went to prison. You know, so he refined himself. Then he became a visionary, started speaking to the people, and influenced other individuals, right? But the whole thing about it, for that change, for that transformation to take place, he had to educate himself.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we do at Georgia University. Transform the mentality. Malcolm X transformed himself from a criminal mentality to a revolutionary mentality. He became a
Right.
revolutionary. And a revolutionary is not just all about pulling out guns and, you know what I'm
Right.
saying, going underground and, you know what I'm saying, and attacking the oppressor. Revolution is about making a change.
That's
Change
right.
to your current social condition, your
That's
political,
right.
economic conditions, you know what I'm saying, your psychological condition. It's about making a change to your condition to make change better. Revolution means change, you know, a total complete change. That's why revolution is 360 degrees, a circle. A total complete change for the better. That's what revolution is about. And it's all starting in the mind. It's not just we're gonna grab guns. Okay, even people that have guns, you know what I'm saying, you got to be trained mentally, you know how to shoot the gun, work the gun without. You got to be trained to do all that. That's a mental aspect. So you got to be a book soldier before you can be a foot soldier. They just how,
Right.
you know, they just how it going down, you know.
I love how you said that because it's so true. They go hand in hand. It's kind of like I can't help the people if I haven't educated myself to know what the needs of the people are and where the resources are to be able to empower and to help the people. So I'm really, really glad that you touched on that. I don't want to go too much longer. We got about 12 more minutes here. Is there anything in particular that I do want to touch on this. I do want to ask you this. I want to ask you, even though we're going to discuss it some tomorrow, I want to get your perspective on how do you think social media plays a part in uh, how we go out or how we look to try to empower ourselves individually or collectively. How does social media play a role in that?
Well, it plays a great role in a lot of things because, you know, you had a tendency, people believe that you actually can organize on Facebook, right? They had a tendency like they can organize on Facebook or start collecting on Facebook. You know, like social media is really a place of activity and action, which is not, right. You
It's
know,
not.
the place of activity and action is being on the outside,
There you go.
being in actual community, the actual neighborhood, doing a particular work, right? But it's also Facebook has a lot of great things because a lot of people a lot of people find out things. A lot of people don't want to read a newspaper, anything, read newspaper or books and things like that. But so they find out exactly what's going on in their particular locale by going to social media. Such and such got killed, such and such got a business that open, such and such. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, they having a program, having a program to destroy people records. You know what I'm saying? To amend people records and
Hmm.
just different things. They find a lot of stuff out on social media, but I actually going to community. So it's a good place for news, right? It's also a good place to link up with other like minds, you know, to do particular works, right? But a lot of things that people express on there, it shouldn't be expressed on in regards to the internal workings of a lot of things from different entities, different organizations, different collectives. A lot of internal things shouldn't be expressed. You know, a lot of then you got to ask that the people go on there, you know, and like they got to understand that let's say for instance, right? If one if they look at say if they look at a title George Jackson, right? They can type in George Jackson on Facebook, and everybody who ever use that title gonna pop up, right? You know, and that actually is a database, and that whole database, you know what I'm saying, is infiltrated and inspired by the CIA, the FBI, all the other platforms, but due to the fact that they even said it in the Chicago Game Book that came out last year. Chicago Game Book put out by the Chicago Crime Commission in Chicago. And the Chicago Crime Commission is a collective of police and enforcers and correctional officers and other people that deal with the police and corrections, GTI, ATF, and all that, gang task, other aspect, in which they put together a book in regards to all the street owners of so-called gangs Chicago from the violence, GD Stones, and everything else like that, right? And they said one of the greatest places to gather information is social media. They range from Facebook to Twitter to Instagram to WhatsApp and all the other platforms, right? They got the information because you had the brothers and sisters come on, you know what I'm saying? They in their colors, throwing up signs, and they revealing who's who, and you know what I'm saying? They doing a little roll call, folks checking in, roll call, I'm such and such, such and such, such and such, and you know, they identify themselves. So they're making it easier for them to gather intel and arrest people on so-called criminal activities. Then on the same token, the biggie gang is always been those in the FBI and the police. You know what I'm saying? Those are the biggie gang members. The police had their own colors, their own symbols, you know, their own banner, their own flag, their own everything. And then they go along and kill everybody in our community. And the majority of them never get tried, never get executed, never go to prison, or we just gonna suspend you. You're just gonna suspend and leave. The whole time they could congratulate you. Yeah, man, you doing a good job, man. We want you to do that, you know.
And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna say we forgive you.
Yeah.
That's what we say. We forgive you. Come on and let somebody else on get his slot, send him on to another city to still be a police somewhere else. Replace him with somebody with that same mentality and watch somebody else, child that looks just like you or I get killed. And then what we're gonna say is, let's go march. I don't march. Where the hell we marching to? Where we marching to?
Yeah, then another thing about that we got a mentality that, oh, okay, it didn't happen to nobody in my family, nobody I know, so it doesn't really matter, you know. But on the same token, these are people that are just like us in our same community. You know what I'm saying? Getting attacked and oppressed. So if it happened to them, it can happen to us because we the same people. It can happen to us too. And then when it do happen to somebody or us, we want all the support. We want all the support in the world, but we didn't want to get other people support because we were being selfish about the activity at a particular time, right? So like I said, that actually is a mindset as well, right? You know, that's a mindset as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, because in the African cultures, right? And all the African cultures, we all have a collective unity. We all have a collective unity. Everything is collective. Everybody ate together. Everybody drunk together. Everybody danced together. Everybody sung together, right? But you know, due to the fact that we've been Americanized, we come to the aspect that we want to do things separate. We want to do things as we want to do things in a separate amount. And we don't have the collective unity that we have because we first time got to collect unity within our own self to even know what we're doing wrong, which is not even right or even productive. You know.
I totally agree with that because I do see that happening a lot in our community. We got about 4 minutes here. I want you to go ahead and kind of wrap it up with whatever that you had to say. I just want to tell you I really appreciate you being on here, Bomani. You said a whole lot, and there were so many comments I couldn't really read them all, but you got the guys engaged, and that's what I appreciate. I appreciate the brothers being willing to jump in and actually get this information. He's on social media, you guys. Go and follow him. He's really, free and open. So if you have any questions, I'm sure he's open to answering any questions and educating you on, however he can. So please just feel free to close out, say whatever it is that you have to say. But before I get off, I want y'all to listen to something before we get off. But go ahead, brother. Again, I truly appreciate you. You were such a gem with dropping all this knowledge right here tonight. So I truly appreciate you.
Okay. I want to thank the sister Tawana Jackson for all her contribution in the struggle, all things she's doing to better ourselves, with a better environment, right? I want to applaud her for all the efforts, that she did in the past, she's doing in the present, what she can do with in the future. And also, like, if you got any loved ones, associates, or comrades, or friends, relatives behind enemy line, which is the prison, locked up, incarcerated, check out our website, which is www.georgejacksonuniversity.com. Again, it's www.georgejacksonuniversity.com. The struggle is all for land independence, because land is the base of independence, right? If you're in any kind of organization, entity, or collective, if you're not struggling for land, you need to really consider your priority if you're not struggling for land. Because that's our power basis. Once we obtain land, we obtain a nation. you know, we all kind of nation. When we type nation, you know, we can have with our nation, we have our own government, our own military, our own school, our own everything, right? So those are our particular goals, man. And I applaud and I applaud everybody out there who's educating themselves from the self-education aspect, gaining knowledge themselves, and also the ones who are going to school and institution and getting that particular knowledge and bringing it back out to the community and bringing it to the people. And also the ones, all the veterans who went to the military and brought us out teaching the people in the community how to shoot, you know, how to survive and how to things of that nature. I salute all y'all, right? I'm gonna say peace and love and free the land.
I love you so much, brother. I love when I meet, like, you know, some real brothers. I love brothers who not intimidated when, you know, with my presence and my demeanor. So I truly honor you, brother. I really appreciate you so, so much. You know, me and you have been conversating for quite some time now, so I'm really glad that we connected. I'm gonna make sure that you get that plate when I come down there. It's just really, really good to connect with you. I just want to tell you thank you so much again for being on the platform. I look forward to being on yours on tomorrow. Thank you for sharing all the information.
I also go out to our radio show airs every Wednesday, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 o'clock p.m. on Chicago and Memphis and Jackson time, and 5 o'clock p.m. San Diego, LA, and Oakland time. You know, so it's approximately 2 hours, a 2 hour platform, a 2 hour ad slot. So we open. There's a call in. You can call in. Our calling number is 347-826-7332. You can call in, ask questions, make a statement, join the dialogue, or share information wherever you want to do it. Just embrace the concept. And also, all our shows are recorded and documented, so you can always go back and look at all our shows that have been recorded ever since December the 14th, December 8th, 2014. We've been doing our shows, right? They've been documented since then. So you all can go back and look at the shows, you know what I'm saying, listen to them, or you can get involved live.
Well, I've listened to a couple of them because he sent them. It's really, really good commentary. I want to tell you, there was somebody else who kind of I made a connect just off of your page earlier today. So I just want to tell you thank you for that. I'm going to be on another radio show just because of you. So I really want to tell you I'm truly honored. Thank you for that connection. I really appreciate when you brothers are not afraid to step out and use this platform in a positive light to be able to inspire others. So I just always like to salute brothers like yourself. Thank you again for being on. Let me read this. Great dialogue. Glad to have listened, love, and struggle. Thank you so much, Lamar. I really appreciate that. We appreciate you guys coming in. We need you guys just as much as we need you just as much as you need us. We're here to, just like he said, to drop these nuggets. We're not trying to force or impose anything. We're just dropping these nuggets enough for you to go and do the research for yourselves, and that way you can come back and say, hey, this works for me, or hey, this does not work for me. So again, I really appreciate everybody. But before y'all go, I'm finna try to play this because my son, you know, I got tired of being muted on my videos for not having no song as mine. So my son had made like 5 or 6 songs. I hope it plays. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna play. So I want you guys to listen to this. It ain't nothing major, but I love the lyricism in it. Ready? Can you guys hear it?
Yeah, this here is definite. Wake up feeling like the president. I stick to my regimen, and notice they fly like a pelican. Everybody has melanin. The champagne is 5 shout out Evelyn. And I'll write like a skeleton. Stay sipping this wine as my medicine. Don't like to do features. They sit in the bleachers, I sit with the teachers. I'm an overachiever. Do this for my leisure, make me feel like Caesar. Need a break, take a breather. This flow need a heater, I'm not a whole beater.
He's not a whole beater.
Too eager. Slide in a 2-seater, frostbit like a freezer. Woke up feeling like magic. That mean I'm ecstatic, not over dramatic. What you want, I done had it. Got rid of old habits, I want it, I grab it. Eating pasta and salad. Put your vote in my ballot, got tubes like a mallet. Remember sleeping on pallets. Now we in the palace, there's no need for malice. Wonderland without Alice. Puffing on this cabbage, I'm so far from average. Living life is so lavish. Swear I'm out the stratus, my way I've been having. Really don't do the bragging. My pants never sagging, you won't see me flagging. And my feet never dragging. Stay on the red carpet, I feel like Aladdin.
I love that by my son, guys. Of course, mom is going to always say that, but I love the lyrics. You guys have got to hear what he is saying. My son is so, I wish I was that conscious when I was his age, but yeah, I wanted you guys to hear that. Hey, cousin, Fish, all the way in Washington State watching us. Hey, cousin, so good to see you. I hope that you enjoyed the commentary. Thank you again, Bomani. I will be on his show tomorrow. George Washington, excuse me, not George Washington, George Jackson University Radio on Blog Talk Radio, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I got you right, bro. See, I'm gonna get it right. I'm getting it right. 8 p.m.
Can you explain that Conrad like that?
I know. I was just gonna say it. Definitely not Washington. Definitely. University Radio, Blog Talk Radio, 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow afternoon. I will be on there tomorrow afternoon. Again, I want to tell you thank you so much, Bomani, for being on the platform. Thanks to you and all your tribe, everybody in your team for doing the work, for being proactive, for educating our people. Thank you so much, brother. I truly appreciate you, and I can't wait until I'm on your platform tomorrow. Peace out.
Okay. True indeed. Peace.
All right, bye. Everybody, we're out.